Hello people, welcome back to yet another video. Let's talk about Arsenal. Now today I wanted to talk about the Crystal Palace game. Obviously not the easiest stadium for Arsenal to visit. Uh, a couple of players that I was the most impressed with, and of course probably the most contradicted moment of the game, the Tomi red card. So let's kick in. Now first of all, the game itself, obviously not the easiest game for Arsenal. Visiting Palace, it's always a hard one to go. Much better teams went there and struggled. So the most important part was to get the 3 points. We did it. End of story. I read a couple of articles, listened to a couple of pundits, and was quite surprised that people expected us to go there and brush them aside like 5-6-0. Not going to happen for me. So at the end of the day, we got the 3 points. Happy days. Now, one of the players I want to talk about is Declan Rice. Obviously, I wasn't Declan Rice's biggest fan up until the last year. Now, last year was when I saw the guy and I said, you know what, yeah, there is a hell of a player there. So, the price itself, something that people talked a lot and a lot. The prices of football players these days are crazy, but if you think of it, the tickets that people have to pay to go to the games, the amount of money you have to spend even to watch the games on TV, the merchandise, everything's went up insanely. So why shouldn't the prices of the players, right? And we all know about the English tax, so I don't really care about the price. So the most important thing is if he fits the team and he fits like a glove. Fantastic performance. I would say that for me he was the player of the game, man of the match, as a lot of people said. So not much to say here. Fantastic game, phenomenal player. Now the second player was Nkethia. Now this guy gets a lot of criticism, and from myself included. I'm not the biggest Nkethia fan, but I think he had a very good game against Palace. Now he's not the most prolific scorer, right? He will miss chances, but Gabriel Jesus misses chances as well. The difference, of course, is that Gabriel Jesus is a different class, right? So if he doesn't score, he will create for other players, what Nkethia is not very good at. He's a young player, not too young to say that he has a time to develop. I think he's like 24. So this is probably something he needs to try to be better, right? At least if you have 3 chances, try to put one of them, or I don't know, maybe two if you can, obviously. Because as a lot of people said, if that was Manchester City, we're not winning this game, right? You miss those chances against City, you're not getting a lot of them, and if you miss one or two, that's it. It's basically game over. So about his scoring, I think a lot of had been said what could be said. Now, the one thing I really liked was his movement, and I was very much surprised by it, especially when he hit the post. Now, that was a phenomenal move for me. He was between two Crystal Palace defenders. He just let the ball past him, dropped the shoulders, and basically that was it. Wasn't lucky enough to score. Hits the post, happens to everybody. Now the second chance when he tried to chip the ball over the goalkeeper. Now this is, I think, when you can see he's not the most experienced player, right? Because personally I think he was way too close to the goal to try to do that. Should have just smashed it into the goal and try to score, but hopefully he can learn from it, and next time he will score. Obviously right now we don't have much of a choice. Arteta will not play Trossard as a 9, I think. uh, Obviously he's not going to play Havertz there. He wants Havertz in the midfield, and quite frankly I think he's more useful there. Havertz is not a prolific goal scorer himself, but he can win the ball in the midfield. He's just that guy that you can pass the ball and you know he will not make the wrong decision. So pretty much that's it about Nkethia. And the last thing is Tomi, red card. Now, I'm not going to talk about the ref. A lot of people talked about it. I'm not a professional ref. I don't know exactly the rules. I don't think that the refs know them as well. But the one thing I would say about this red card is I'm looking at Tomiyasu, and you know that you have a yellow card, right? And to make a decision that basically puts you in a situation when you let the runner behind your back with the ball. Now this is a very stupid thing to do. Now, was it a yellow? Wasn't it a yellow card? I don't really care. I mean, there was a contact. He tried to kind of push Ayu aside a bit to get him. So if that goes for Arsenal, I think every Arsenal fan would say like there was a contact. It's a second yellow, no doubt about it, right? So I think it was a red card. To be fair, I think it was a red card. The problem is that we need a bit more clarification on how the refs will proceed from now on, and most importantly, they just need to have some kind of consistency, right? So basically, just say that's a foul, it will be awarded with a yellow card, and they follow this, nobody will say a word, right? So again, I think that if Tierney was available for this game, I much rather prefer seeing Tierney in this left side, because I think that as a defender, he is the best left side defender we have right now, left back. Going forward, maybe not as good as Zinchenko, but as a defender himself, I much rather prefer seeing him there, Saliba and White in the middle if Gabriel is not fit to play, and Tomiyasu just playing on the right side. That's about it. So let me know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree. Any comment will be much appreciated. If there are any questions, I will try to answer them in the next videos. And up to the next one.